Hello friends. So this is my first video about Buddhism. So I've talked a lot about, racism, and that's the worst. So first get rid of that stuff. And then about love, caring for others, and the causes of others' happiness would be to really love them. Let's suppose you get all this stuff straight, and then it's time to move on to Buddhism. Okay, so forget about egoism, to overcome egoism and other things. I want to talk about, this is really for people maybe who already know something about Buddhism. It might be interesting. I don't know how, let's see how this works out. But in Buddhism, there is this idea that the human being, the human mind, has both fundamental ignorance and Buddha nature, so something that's absolutely perfect. And so it's interesting to say, how does that go and how does that work out in the practice of Buddhism? Well, there's this meditation is 1/3 of Buddhism. So there's meditation, ethics, and wisdom practice. In the meditation, there's something called shamatha and vipassana. Shamatha is just no words in your mind. So you sit there cross-legged, straight back, looking at the point on the floor about a body's length away, eyes half closed, something like this, or look at something in front of you in the air. But at any rate, no words in the mind. So why is that good? Why would that help you accentuate this part of your mind that's your Buddha nature and get away from the part of your mind that's the fundamental ignorance? Well, the idea is that the fundamental ignorance is in a desire to have individual identity and to sort of freeze reality and to become this, like, attached to certain things like I am Thomas Schwartz, I'm not going to die, and or I love the language of my land, let's say, and that's not going to change. But all of that, of course, is fundamentally ignorant, right? Because we know from science everything's always changing. Also, what's interesting is that my nature is also composite. I'm made up actually of an infinite number of parts. You can keep looking into finer and finer details, and you see that I'm really made up of a lot of different composite things. So it's, again, fundamentally ignorant to think of that as just one human being or something like this. And then there's an infinite amount of causation, so dependent origination, that also is more intelligent. It's more on the Buddha nature side, whereas the fundamental ignorance would deny that and say, no, there's no, I'm not interested in that it came from dinosaurs or evolved from bacteria or from my parents or on and on and on, or even like what I'm saying right now comes from the outside, from other, inputs. But no, I'm fundamentally ignorant. I'm just going to say I'm Thomas Schwartz. Then it comes, you can have some fear about that and then be afraid of dying also because you don't want to lose that identity. So then let me just say why shamatha, is sitting and not thinking about any words. So that's what shamatha is. You sit in the nature of your mind, so you're just going to sit there cross-legged and you're not going to have any words come to mind, let's say, is a way to do that. And why is that helpful in realizing your Buddha nature and overcoming this fundamental ignorance? Because without any words to frame reality in language, you are then just left with reality itself, which is the fundamental nature of everything, is what they call emptiness, which is this dependent origination. So it's empty of individual existence, but it's very much existing as a sort of as a river, as a flowing, time and composite. So in one point in time, this composite identity, infinitely complicated composite identity, as well as just being caused and changing constantly. So that's the beautiful thing. So if you think about it, what's actually happening, and the reason why it's so healthy, so wonderful to do that Buddhist shamatha meditation, means just sit there cross-legged, not thinking about anything, not thinking about any words, because the mind actually does still exist, and it's still living and working, but without any words, you're only left with the emptiness. So if you can just sit there with the shamatha, you really do realize emptiness, realization, just by still being conscious in reality. So then you say, well, okay, that's why you do the meditation. There's three aspects of Buddhism. There's the ethics, meditation, and wisdom. Why is it so important to be good? Where's all that ethics come from? Well, that one, again, is just they all three work together, but helps you to calm your mind and not have fear. See, that fear of all kinds of things. Makes you really need to grab onto individual identity, not be in this idea of dependent origination and emptiness and composite identity, but you need to be just me, because I need to defend me, because other people need to get me because I was bad to them. So that's the idea. So you're good to just everybody, as you can be. Not everyone's going to like you, but at least there's the intention to be good. And if you can't be good, you're at least neutral. You're never bad to them. So that works to help you calm your mind, to not be afraid to lose your individual identity, and to see life as it really is, as it actually is ticking along. Not tick, 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 the word T-I-C, 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 but ticking along is just, see, so my fingers moving around my head, just that. So there's words, I know 3 languages, so let me just say the word in all 3 languages. So in English it's called discernment, you just see reality as it is. In Russian, Pronicательность, and in Deutsch, Einsicht. So this is really one of that's the wisdom practice. So sometimes it's nice to bring the words back if you need, like right now this is all words that I'm giving you, right? So when you use the words to talk about things like emptiness or ethics, generosity, discipline, patience, and moral strength, when you're talking about ethics or meditation or wisdom, it's really wisdom. So that's like talking about it. Ethics itself is being good. So it's not really saying anything. It might be saying, hey, I care for you, or tell me about your feelings, and then listening more. That's the ethics. So then the wisdom is talking about it, and then the meditation is like that. So then, you open your heart, you can do things. So I hope that helps. I hope that's interesting to you. So the idea is that, again, is that shamatha, why is it good? Why is it helpful? And it really does relieve you of anxiety as well. The ethics practice and the wisdom practice relieves you of anxiety because we are getting away from our fundamental ignorance, and it's a losing battle. That's why it's called ignorant, because it's not the truth. It's a losing battle. It's this idea to freeze a reality. It helps you get away from that and just let go of that. And then the good thing about the human mind, the Buddha nature, gets into effect there. It just is. It's maybe can grow a little bit, but at least I don't know if it grows, but it just can exist as it existed and exists without that fear element and the rationalization. Here's my plan. Here's what I'm going to do, because all that's kind of verbal planning and verbal repetition of what's going on and saying it in words is really tends to fix, which is the fundamental ignorance, fix reality as just this one thing. And I understand there's a use for that, and here and there. But believe me, there's a use for meditation. That's one of the 3 elements of Buddhism. So this is all words right now. So you can say, well, why aren't you just meditating? Well, because there's a use for the words. Go into the land of suffering, into the land of words, and try to share something, which again, brings fruits in my practice, which I immediately dedicate to you, to your happiness. I don't need that. There is no me in the end. I'm going to die very soon, and that's my plan, is to work on that and to try to care for others, include my daughter, my family, also my enemies and the horrible people of the world, and really care for everyone as much as I can. Okay, I hope that helps you.